everybody. Welcome to the Dutch webinar, the first one from 2019. I really need to make this screen a bit bigger, sorry. Okay, great. I am Sara Lone. I'm the Senior Research Analyst at the Ecommerce Foundation, responsible for the awesome Dutch report that just came out that my great team helped me make. My research team, Ludovica and Isabella. And I'm here today with two also amazing people. Well, first of all, before I start with that, I just want to say thank you to our sponsors for the report, because we couldn't do it without them. Osudio being a really big one for us. Also SAP, Manhattan Associates, Ascendia, and Dot Shop. And I'm actually here with a representative from Osudio, Menno Pijpers. I'll give you a little bit of background, but I'm also here with one of my favorite colleagues ever, Rein Suiker. Favorite. Anyway, okay. So Menno, right here in the middle, is responsible for all commercial operations of Osudio in the Netherlands. He's part of pre-sales consultancy activities at major international brands, wholesalers, and manufacturers. Menno is specialized in consulting for companies, transforming their businesses into an e-business, helping them focus on business goals, customer needs, and technology adoption. He also used to run our Global. He can tell you about that if he wants to. I don't know if it was a success or not, but he can touch on that. And then next up, we have Rein Suiker. He is our resident e-commerce enthusiast. I wrote this, he didn't. I should say that honestly. Rein is our resident e-commerce enthusiast. He's responsible for our e-commerce wiki here at the foundation and academic courses and materials. During his off time, or lack thereof, he runs a very successful online web shop called Hobbygigant and also Adding Shop. So he's going to give us the ins and outs of selling online in the Netherlands. If you have any questions during the webinar, you can always send them in. It's unlikely we'll get to them because I'm American and talk all the time. However, we will try to send them to the panelists so that they can answer them for you. Okay, great. You guys ready?
Sure.
Okay. So this webinar is going to focus on the intricacies of the Dutch e-commerce market, including behaviors and preferences. So because of that, I'm going to first start off with Menno. I understand your main role. I should turn to you or something.
Yeah.
I understand your. I'm a robot. If I forget this, it won't go well. I understand your main role is being responsible for commercial operations of Osudio in the Netherlands, right? So the question that I have for you is, what do retailers coming from outside the Netherlands need to know about making their business plan successful here in the Netherlands? For example, how is this market different or similar to other markets, and how do they create a business plan to accommodate that difference?
Well, first of all, I think the Netherlands, in comparison to the rest of the world, maybe even in Europe, is quite mature. So the adoption of digital has been done here many years ago. I also think that traditional companies also invested in digital many years ago, which means that there is a high level of competitive playing field. So if you're entering a new market, you need to be outstanding in terms of your proposition mainly. So you need to offer a product which is really much interesting for the customer. Not so much on digital capabilities because the adoption is quite high, and also the infrastructure in the Netherlands is actually well built for e-commerce. So if you want to make a difference here, it needs to be on the proposition and the product or the service that you're offering, mainly.
Cool. Yeah. Okay. It's actually funny that you bring up infrastructure because I noticed that the Netherlands is dropping a bit in some of the indices, the index points that we look at for the e-commerce report, like the logistical performance and the regulatory, so the ease of doing business. And I really wondered what your thoughts are on the ease of doing business, because they dropped a lot with that. It seems with taxing and whatnot, it seems that the Netherlands is becoming a bit harder for companies when it comes to regulation and taxes. Do you think that's true? Or?
I can understand. I think it's true. Although I have to be said, I'm not an expert on regulations. Maybe the gentleman next to me knows a little bit more about it. But
I break rules.
It's the conception of everybody saying that it's hard due to regulatory rules in the Netherlands. It's hard to open up a business here because you get blocked by the governments, what they say. Nevertheless, I feel that there's a lot of room for entrepreneurship, and people and Dutch people in general are actually really motivated to start their business. And there's a lot of infrastructure to become successful. So I don't see in any other way that it's becoming a blocker to becoming successful here in the e-commerce domain. I think everything here facilitates in order to do so.
Cool, yeah, yeah. I would actually quite agree. I mean, after living here, I think that.
What are the countries that are actually rising instead of the Netherlands dropping?
Actually, it seemed like all the EU countries started to drop a little bit on their regulate, and I wondered if that was because.
Just like Belgium.
Yeah.
They came from far. Have you ever seen the infrastructure in Belgium?
Yeah, yeah. I mean, but of course, if you start from here, you can rise much faster.
We spoke about it, right? Going from 0 to 1 is like 100% growth.
Yeah, exactly.
So I think we only dropped because we were actually overachieving in comparison to the rest of the world for many years. And everybody's catching up to our infrastructure, which I believe is pretty good. So there's a really healthy environment and also a healthy infrastructure here for businesses to settle. So I think it's only a good index that many countries are actually rising up the ladder instead of us going down.
Yeah,
that's a more positive way of looking into it.
I agree on that.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah, it's also, you see a lot of young people and millennials actually opening businesses up. And I, like I said, I'm from the States. So for me, I feel like I never see that. You never hear somebody who's maybe in their late 20s or early or mid 20s even, who is saying, I'm going to open up a web shop or a shop in general.
They don't.
No, I feel like they're all just buried in student loan debt.
They are.
So I think it's way more likely for I hear it all the time, Dutch younger people who are saying, yeah, I'm going to start my business. I started a business 3 years ago, or I'm starting a new business. And I'm always shocked, like, how are you, man, in America, maybe I wasn't hanging out with the right people.
You have to go back to the history of the Netherlands.
Yeah.
We are traders.
Yeah, true.
We started a long time ago, and trading is common here.
Yeah.
So therefore, I can imagine that a lot of young people will say, I start my business.
Yeah, so that's a good question then to lead off into is so clearly the Netherlands is successful in trading. What makes them successful with Dutch people? Like, how do you create then a web shop? Say that you're coming from somewhere else and you want to break into this market. How do you successfully sway the Dutch people to buy from your web shop then?
Dutch like bargains.
Okay.
So if you go to enter the market with a low price, you can open up the market. Next to that is that the Dutch like to have perfect service. The German is a little bit more than the Dutch, but so if you add your service level, then you have still got capabilities. Look how Zalando entered the Dutch market with free shipping and that kind of stuff. They set the level for all the other players, and at that moment, since then, it's not possible to charge transportation cost anymore. No. And that's what the Dutch are. The Dutch like bargains and ease of buying.
But is it a long-lasting strategy?
No, not at all.
So if you want to be here for many decades, obviously it's a good way to enter the market, but how are you going to be sustainable? Which I think that's a more interesting topic.
Yeah, I think that's true. Also, because you see now more people are interested in different things. So they are interested in the bargain, but I also see now more and more people are interested in niche or in sustainability, or they're more likely to buy into the branding of a company if it's got corporate responsibility, it's environmentally friendly, if it speaks to their heart, more so than if it's just the cheapest thing possible. I don't know what your thoughts are on that.
I think that's a trend going on all over the world, right? I don't think people necessarily always want to buy the cheapest product. I think people are more aware right now on the impact on the environment and the other stuff, actually, the way that it's built, if it's, so they're not so much looking into price that much anymore. Nevertheless, Dutch people like price. Depending on the product.
The fun part is we started 3-4 years ago already with environmental friendly materials and that kind of stuff. At the moment, it's only a small percentage of my total business. So we put a lot of efforts in it from telling people from, this cotton or this wool is coming from places where they treated animals in the right way and that kind of stuff. But still, at the end, if the price is not right, you cannot do volume.
Yeah.
If you want to have a niche, yes, then we are big in the niche. But if you're talking about the whole market, still a lot of the most people in the Netherlands still are interested in a good value for money deal.
Yeah.
So maybe that's a unique quality.
Yeah, but good value for money doesn't mean it's cheap.
No, it's not cheap. But to tell you a story, we had a competitor who started with an online business, a young lady living in Draften. And she started selling some materials for a price we cannot achieve. We found out that she forgot to charge VAT on their products. And still now, 2 years or 3 years later, we still get customers coming into the stores. Your Catania is too expensive. It should be 197, and you're charging €2.20. That's the reason they still know so many years later. That's Dutch.
Yeah.
And the funny part is we sell also lots of volume to the German market. The Germans are indeed more nature conservative and also about environmental friendly. They are willing to pay more money for it. That's the funny part. Our prices in Germany is higher than the Dutch prices.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
But yeah, it's the German market.
So all the Germans watching are going to start buying from your Dutch shop.
Yeah. The fun part is if you change .de and .nl in our web shop, suddenly the prices are different. And most of them, they don't have problems with it.
Okay, so this is an interesting point that you just brought up though, right? The domain name and how, but it's also like you have a different strategy then for each country that you're in. So what you asked a moment ago is it sustainable that we keep with the free shipping and the cheap and yada yada? I do wonder how that affects small to medium-sized businesses and which aspects of customization for a web shop they put money into. So do they put it into a domain name if they're selling across the border? Do they put it into free shipping? Do they put it into the e-commerce platform? What in a more robust one? How do they choose to compete with these bigger Zalandos and Amazon? And
trust is everything. Offer a good service, making people loyal, and only do so by being a trustworthy supplier of products or services. So actually, if you look at the whole journey that somebody goes with, it's easy to sell a product online. You have the whole infrastructure ready. I can put my product online and a little bit of marketing. Now, even with Instagram, it's really cheap to put your brand out there. It's really simple to reach an audience. But eventually, what will make people come back to you will be that you are a trustworthy partner. So actually, the loyalty starts after the transaction. Are you able to deliver the product on time if something's wrong with it? Are you able to offer a fitting solution? That's what people remember, and eventually that is what a sustainable way will build your brand. So that's something they need to invest in, more than even the go-to-market, except not being successful the first year, but investing a lot of time in building an end-to-end customer journey that actually facilitates people, that builds trust, instead of pushing as many products on the long term, because that's going to short-term strategy and you're going to be successful.
Yeah.
So the first 1-2 years you spent a lot of money on entering the market, and then loyalty is the issue to compete in the future.
So, but how do you get that loyalty before?
If you want loyalty, take a dog.
Okay. Okay, fair point. Yes. So moving on then, because I would love to have one. So.
At the end, the customer is the funny part was in the past, your brand was also, if you are a retailer, so let's say it this way, you don't have your own brands, then you are depending on your image, your branding. If you are the manufacturer, then you have got the brand, and then people want to buy Coca-Cola. Right. And they don't talk about, did I buy it at Jumbo or did I buy it at Albert Heijn? They bought Coca-Cola. So the problem is, if you start now with your business, you have to choose either or. You have something in your, as a retailer, something added, which really makes it like a community-driven or that kind of approach. Then you have a new tool to enter the market. Mm. But if you're just going to sell the regular products with your name on it as a store owner, people will not be loyal. They only remember that I bought this Coca-Cola, and they don't remember it was Jumbo or the other one.
No. And here I come home from the grocery store only remembering Sir Albert Heijn. He did a great job.
But I think actually Albert Heijn is a really good example of having loyalty and like a really customer-focused strategy. I believe my grandmother used to shop at Albert Heijn. Even though I'm living in a neighborhood in Rotterdam, that's where I live. You have like many different supermarkets nearby, and some are cheaper, other are closer, but I always go to Albert Heijn because it's part of the culture. That's
the culture, and also Albert Heijn is far ahead in customer journey driven. Most of the companies, they all look at customer journey like a circle. You start with the orientation, blah blah blah, transaction, and you start all over again, like you're repeating, acquiring new customers. And Albert Heijn, they said, yeah, we trying to get you as a customer, but then we have got a future retail, so future repeat business. And they do a lot of good things in between and also during the next buy. If you buy the self-scan, on your self-scan already they put on a display that, hey Rein, it's your birthday. And then I get 50% discount on my cake. printed on the display. So use the scanner if you want discount. And so they remember, and they also show on the display already that from Hey Rein, you always take this kind of product. We have a special voucher for you. And the fun part is in some stores, Albert Heijn, if I'm paying less than somebody who's buying the same product. Because Albert Heijn is already so far that they know the future level of future value of the customer life value. They're far ahead. And that's what they do well. And they
It took
use
them a long time though, because they started, I think, like maybe already 15, 20 years ago with Bonus Plus, where you used to scan, like every time you went to the register, it scanned, so it had all this information what you were buying. Actually, it took them a really long time in order to give you some proactive advice on what to buy next, or give you really specific discounts, specific actions. It took them a long time actually to start doing that, actually starting with it right now. But they also came sort of a long way, and I think they were sitting on a lot of data for a long time, which they didn't do, which they didn't execute.
They had no clue what to do with it at the time.
Yeah, so then this is a good question as well, I think, for SMEs, especially in the Netherlands. Okay, so you brought up the data thing. How do you then suggest SMEs entering this market start collecting the data? Like what do they implement on their e-commerce platforms to ensure they're collecting data? Because you hear a lot about AI, you hear about
but do you use your own platform to enter the market? That's what I'm asking myself. I mean, like with the rise of marketplaces, do you actually want to invest in your own?
We stopped selling via certain marketplaces because we don't have the customer data anymore. We only are then a fulfillment house for them. We're taking the shit like the returns and all that kind of stuff, and they have no problem.
So you can't access the customer data?
I know.
On a really basic level.
Yeah, I know that you bought it in my store, but that's it.
Also,
I don't know what you buy, anything else. I'm not in direct contact with you.
But your hands are tied then, because it sounds like there's a lot of data that you could be using to understand your customers better, but you can't do it if you're on a marketplace.
The only thing what you can do is put into the box which you ship to you, that I put in the vouchers, let's say, from don't buy next time at bol.com, buy it in my store direct and I give you discounts. That's the only trick you can do.
So what would you invest in? What do you invest in? What would you suggest an SME invest in?
SME like entering the Dutch market, or an existing Dutch SME? SME entering the Dutch market?
Yeah, or both. How about both?
Yeah, depending about the complexity, I think even before you enter the market, just look at your product. Is it going to be something which actually sets you apart from the rest, just to start off with? And if you're going to go in for the testing, so if you want to know if it resonates in the market, use a marketplace.
Yeah, because for testing is perfect.
For testing is perfect because you just put it there. There's a lot of traffic. There's a lot of opportunity for low cost way actually to enter the market, really fast time to market, actually to test if your product will work. Then afterwards, depending on how much on brand you are and loyal to your returning orders, if you're more transaction focused, bol.com might just be the platform for you or something else to start off and maybe stay on it for a few years. If you want to build a relationship, like having your own data, having your own platform, will definitely help you to build that long-lasting relationship. Yeah.
So if you're a manufacturer, platforms are okay. Good friend of mine, he's in Apeldoorn, and he's selling T-shirts for people with a belly. And he made them, he let them produce it abroad. Yeah,
what an audience!
He is selling like man.
What's it called? There might be somebody who wants to know. I'm asking for a friend.
No.
And can you explain it? How does it
work? Normally T-shirts are a straight shape, but they've got a bad design for it, so that they fit around your belly. But he's selling like mad via Amazon DE to Germany. So, but it's his own brand, so he doesn't have a problem. That's unique. But if I'm selling the normal Fruit of the Looms T-shirts via Amazon, I will be out of business soon because there's always somebody who's being cheaper or better or whatever.
Right.
So as a retailer, don't use it, but as a brand, you can use it because they take care of the distribution, the returns, and all the other stuff.
But so then a marketplace might be seen as also a short-term solution or a short-term.
It's part of a strategy. There's like no silver bullet. There isn't a 100% way of saying you need to do your own platform. You can't say with 100% certainty you need to go in marketplaces. You need to test actually what works best for you. Do you offer enough value in the market for your audience? And then mix it up, start working, start testing. I mean, like it's in the broad, you need to utilize as many channels as possible that actually brings value to your brand. So you need to find the right mix. It's all in the combination of things and patience. I mean, like, it's not going to happen within a year. It's going to take you longer. And invest in like a good strategy that is robust in the width, instead of only focusing on one channel, because you're going to go out of business really soon.
We use like bol.com as a test case for new products. We don't produce our own products, so we are reseller for adding, for instance. So what we do with adding products is that if we want to test how big the market will be, we sell it via bol.com, and then we know the data very soon, and then we know, should we do it ourselves or leave it at bol.com. If it's a product which is in high turnaround volume, so high volume, stop selling it via bol.com, because we've a lot of times bol.com starts selling it themselves, so they bypass us. So that's why we don't want to learn them the tricks.
Yeah.
We use them as test case. That's it.
How long is your shop already in the air?
Since 1999.
Okay, and if you would start today, what would you do?
Don't do it.
Wow.
No. The fun part is that this week I had, together with my brother, my business partner, a discussion about it, that when we started in 1999, it was very simple. You had a website and you had search engine, that was it. But if you do it today, it starts all over again. You have not only your SEO, you have got your SEA, you have got your social media investments, you've got all this additional stuff, like we now investing heavily in artificial intelligence. On the other hand, the tools are getting cheaper. A long time ago, I was working for TUI and I was responsible for the first website. We invested 1.6 million euros only building a website. Today, you can get a website for less than 10 euros a month. So the tools are getting cheaper, but on the other hand, you have to do so many more things than like in the past. My brother is a really old retailer, shopkeeper, and he's complaining about it. He said, normally I put into stock my product range, I make a selection, and then people enter my store and will say, hey Richard, what do you have? And he will say, okay, this is what I have. Oh, I take that one, I take that one, I'm going to do something with it. Today they come in with their phone and they just say, using our Wi-Fi, I've seen that in Switzerland they are making this kind of product and this is the brand, do you have it? No, but we have an alternative. No, I want the original. So I buy it online and they leave. So he's totally frustrated about it. He said, but I've got perfect products. But customer is so well informed and they know exactly the price and then the product. They really want to have the original one.
Yeah.
So we have a stock problem, of course, from that we take these kind of products, but sometimes the hype, then you are running, you have a lot of old stock.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's just a short time product. And in my case, we're working with a lot of colors. A lot of products we have more than 64 variants in color. And of course, the only color we don't have in stock is popular.
Yeah, of course.
And the customer will say, oh, doesn't matter, I buy it online somewhere else. And in the past, you could say to the customer, oh, I've got a little bit different blue shade.
And
this is good, anyway. Fit back to your eyes. And they accept it. But today, the customer is really in control.
Yeah, but the offering is so big.
Yeah. The alternatives are so amazing.
Exactly.
My biggest
Especially
competitor.
in the EU, you could really shop from anywhere in the EU, and it's.
Yeah, even though if I want to shop from the US, it's also possible.
Also,
yeah, but the fun part is, in the past we had, let's say, an area of about 50 kilometers around Apeldoorn where we are located. And today our biggest competitor is a guy in Brussels and a guy in Munich. And they sell their stuff to the Dutch market. And they say, yeah, of course we can enter the German market. We do. But the competition is so tough.
Yeah.
And we noticed that we have a lot of loyal customers. But still they come into our store. We have also a store, we are an omnichannel organization. And they just say, hey Richard, I bought it somewhere else because it was cheaper.
Yeah.
That's the business today. So you have to invest heavily in all this kind of tools and stuff. That's going back to your question. Should I do it all over again? I might do it because I like the challenge, but if you enter the market, you have to learn that you have a lot of additional costs from compared to the past when you had a normal bricks and mortar store. And you need a lot of well-educated employees who take care of it. When we started, we did it with 2 people. Today I've got an expert in SEO, I have outsourced my advertising, I have outsourced my artificial intelligence development.
Yeah, of course, yeah.
So that's the difference with.
Well, you can't be a jack of all trades, because in this world you have to be a master of all of them if you want to actually be. But then, so I have two controversial questions that I could then ask following up on this. You choose Brexit or Amazon. Which would you prefer first?
Amazon.
Okay, Amazon.
Definitely.
So is Amazon just going to destroy everything? Because I feel like, we could call Amazon a short-term market solution for a budding retailer, let's say.
Yeah.
But in reality, they are really expanding. I mean, even in
They
South
are.
America, we see Mercado Libre, but they are also, Amazon is still bringing headquarters there. They're also expanding significantly in Europe and elsewhere. In India, I think they were just in that big battle with Walmart.
Mhm.
So are we sort of doomed for failure, or is it for SMEs in particular? And yeah, what do we do about it? I feel so sad.
No, I don't think it's depending if you're offering a commodity product, yeah, they're gonna take your business, that's for sure. Yeah, no problem. But if you're not a commodity and actually a manufacturer of a brand, you still have opportunities, but you need to rethink the way that you position your product in the market and what type of channels you're gonna use in order to sell it. That's the only thing that's gonna change. But yeah, sure, if you are in the same market as Amazon, like the batteries, like they're doing now, they're building their own batteries and your Duracell.
Diapers.
Yeah, they're gonna take your stuff. Why? Because a battery is easy to make, and they don't have the brain power, the capacity to take the market. So they're not gonna do it because it's a little.
They've got volume and they've
Exactly.
got the network to distribute it.
Yeah. But imagine if you are in fashion and you're a really good designer with really great ideas and you're innovative in the way that you produce shoes, for instance, you're gonna build a brand around the design that you're making. And they're not gonna come into your business. I don't think they're gonna take your ideas and make it to something their own. Obviously, you're gonna be competing with them in some way or another, but I think it's more of an opportunity actually to bring your product into the market instead of them being a threat to your business.
Okay.
If you're a brand owner.
If you're a brand owner, yeah.
Okay.
If you're a retailer, yeah.
You will be squeezed out.
Exactly.
And this is also very much in the Netherlands, you think this as well, right?
No, it's more worldwide.
Yeah, for sure. But
I've been talking with a Spanish guy, and he said, my problem is that I make all this kind of nice information. I produce a lot of content. He had 2 ladies working on content development for his product range. And they're putting it on Amazon. And Amazon say, thank you for all this knowledge that you share with us. Now we don't need you anymore because we're going to do the purchase directly from manufacturing themselves. And you're out of business. So he said, I teach them how to sell my product range.
Mm-hmm.
I invest heavily in good content.
Yeah.
And I'm out of business.
Yeah.
That's happening. So you have to find a way. On the other hand, not everybody is going to buy at the same store.
Okay, so let's say that you are, you're a Belgian retailer right now, brick and mortar, and you realize, okay, I want to sell in Belgium, but I also know that because I'm Dutch speaking, I can also sell in the Netherlands pretty easily. So how would you, but let's say this person is not yet a web shop owner, like web shop. They own a brick and mortar store, but not web shop. What is the I know you with Osudio, maybe you should tell everybody what Osudio is and what it does, because they might not fully know if they're not web shop owners. But how then do you go about choosing a platform, or what do you look for? How do you do that? Yeah, how do you do that?
First of all, it's like if you have an organization that is actually fit to start competing in a way like this, you need to have an organization that is agile, because today it has something to do with marketplaces, tomorrow it's going to be something else. So if you have a regular organization where decision making takes too long, you're never going to be able to catch up. That's for one. So having like an agile organization is super important. And second of all, like having an agile, like a flexible technology stack, which actually enables you to have a quick time to market that doesn't cost you too much in the maintenance, quite easy to develop new functionalities on, to scale off or scale down options on it. That's all depending with the success of it. So yeah, so for them, like being flexible and scalable is something which is really important if you want to enter the market and become successful.
And take products which have a story.
Yeah, that's on a product level. Yeah, on a product level, yeah. Assuming that you're entering the market with a product on itself that it has a big differentiator to it, that's if you don't have a product that is appealing to the market, like you can do all the digital stuff that you want and be as agile as you want, you're not going to be successful.
Yeah. Yeah, it sounds like it. Well, it also, it kind of pairs with what you said as well about people just going elsewhere to find what it is they're looking for. They also seem less likely to accept what you have, even if it's close to what they want. They're more likely to say, no, I'll just buy it from China. I noticed that as well when we were doing research for the report, which if you haven't downloaded it, you should download it. You can, shameless plug.
Should we go to the commercial break?
This report was sponsored by Sarah, who is shamelessly plugging her reports. You can also buy it now. But I noticed that China was the #1 cross-border shop or destination for Dutchies. And
you know why? Because they like bargains and they buy Alibaba. Yeah, like I just bought these headphones, these iPhone AirPods, like they cost like 200 euros or something, and you can buy them for like €2.50 at Alibaba. So people like
different quality.
Different quality, obviously, because it's a big price range.
Still, you can give to the children that are happy because they have color.
That's typically Dutch, right? So I think if you go to more in the status economy, just like the United States, like you need to have Apple because that's quality, you're able to afford it. In the Netherlands, like they go like, even though if you make millions a year, I bought it at Alibaba for €2.50. And that's a status on its own.
You gotta do normal.
You gotta do normal, yes.
Going back to that, the problem is if I make you a compliment about your clothing, you'll say thank you. If you do it to a lot of Dutch ladies, not all of them, they will say, yeah, it was a bargain, I bought it at a discount.
Yes.
That's Dutch.
Oh my God.
That's Dutch.
I think my mom belongs to this country. She's American, but she definitely does that. Yeah.
It's possible that you guys have some roots here, though.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah.
You guys
are Irish.
Yeah.
Well, we never knew, but we're actually very Dutch. It came down in the frugality of the family. Okay, so #1, Dutch people are frugal. This is why, actually, yeah, I think that's true because we're also making the Belgium report, which will be published
next week.
I think I noticed that the Netherlands, I think, correct me if I'm wrong, research team, the Netherlands is like the #1 for the cross-border purchasing location, I think, or maybe it's Germany. Is it? I can't remember anyway. But it's not China, is what I'm saying, and I found that really interesting because it's like, I don't know if Belgians are not so much interested in cheap, but
no, they're different. They're more relation-based and historical-based. In the past, I was working for Sony Benelux as marketing manager, and at that time, I was also in charge of Belgium. The funny part was in the Netherlands, we had always price problems with our retailers and the distribution. If you go to Belgium, they still cheat with each other. So their retailers, they accepted a higher price because they had a long relation and that kind of stuff. It's totally different. Mm-hmm. It's maybe religion-based, I don't know, or cultural-based, or we are different.
Yeah.
And the good part is, in the Netherlands, if you want to enter the Dutch market, try new technology. The adoption rate of new technology in the Netherlands is the highest in the world.
Yeah.
So a lot of brands, like I was working for Sony, almost all the new Sony technology was tested here in the Dutch market because we are a small market.
Oh yeah, okay.
And so you can test it very quickly. And if it's working here, then you know that the Germans will take it over in 1 year, the UK also in half a year, and then the rest of the world.
That's why it's actually sort of super weird that Amazon didn't come to the Netherlands first. Right?
Language.
Yeah.
The market is too small.
Yeah, because Dutch people, if you want to shop in English, they will just go to the UK, Amazon one, or if they want to shop in German, they will go to the German one. It's the same in Switzerland, I noticed as well. You will find like portions of Switzerland where they will just access Amazon.it or Amazon.de or Amazon.fr. And it's really, they've done this very strategically very well, because I think most Dutch people speak English. But this is actually a good follow-up question to that, which is, so entering the Dutch market, if you're coming from a place like France or Germany, or even the UK, do Dutch people really need to see the website in Dutch, or are they okay with it also being in English? Or if you are...
Depending on the product range.
Yeah,
okay.
I think they like to have it in Dutch though.
Yeah, I think
Yeah.
The volume, yes, but if this special bike or whatever, I can buy it everywhere.
Mm-hmm.
So then I take from a different country if it's not available in the Dutch version. But all the regular products or products with high maintenance, I prefer a Dutch website, because if something goes wrong, I know who I can hit on his nose. So
yeah, but again here it's about trust, right?
Yeah.
So if it's a high involvement product that you're gonna buy, You want to make sure that the people that is accountable for the product is also situated in the Netherlands. And if you start off with having a website in English, it's going to create a distance, and it's hard to overcome.
Yeah, okay. So you should have if you're going to sell in the Netherlands, you really should have your web shop in Dutch. Maybe both.
I think it's like, in Dutch we say boerenverstand. It's a farmer's
knowledge.
Yeah, farmer's knowledge. Which means that actually people, you like to be spoken to in English, right? I don't know, maybe you speak Spanish or something else. Like, do you French? Yeah, exactly. But you probably prefer to be spoken to in your mother tongue. And like in the basic, even if you're Dutch, even if you speak English really well, you prefer to read in Dutch.
Yeah.
But in most countries, I do know that a lot of American organizations, they said, okay, we enter Europe. Let's start in the UK because they have the same language, and then we can sell to the whole of Europe.
No, that doesn't work.
It's hard. It's hard to define the European market, right? With all these different languages, all these different cultures. It's like these small domains that have their own culture and way of doing business on its own. It's really complex. Even for people within the European Union, it's already, accepting because you know the countries surrounding you, and therefore you know that Belgians are more relationship based and this on and so forth. But if you're an outstander, if you come from China or you come from the United States, it's really hard to sort of put a consistent stamp on Europe and like having a go-to-market.
That's so true. I know that when I tell Americans that I live in the Netherlands, they're like, I don't know what that is. And when I say Amsterdam, they say, oh! They don't really, I think what you said is very true. I think if you're not from, I don't think you have as much of a wherewithal or the world knowledge to know these different intricacies of the market. I mean, I know when I first came to Europe, when I saw my partner, he's Dutch, when I saw his phone and it was in Dutch, I thought, they put phones in Dutch? I thought they were all in English. I mean, that was probably the dumbest moment that I ever had many years ago. Now I'm much more enlightened, but I was quite flabbergasted at that. And maybe it's because you are so centric in where you come from. But now being in the Dutch market, I'm able to see more intricacies. But I do think the question then is, if you want to sell to these other markets in Europe, how do you then, without going there and creating a team there, a headquarters there, how do you understand that market in a way that will apart from reading our great reports, how do you
make a commercial now?
Cut to commercial. How do you learn the market best in each of the countries?
I think what I would definitely do is read the E-commerce Foundation report.
Thank you.
To start off with, and then
it's the basics.
That's the basics.
Yeah.
It's hard. I mean, the thing. I think it's gonna be easier. I think 10 years ago it was super hard for business to enter any new market which they didn't truly understand, like culturally.
Yeah.
Now with the rise of big data and everything will be more like data driven, also decision making, also preparation of entering a new market. You're gonna have access to all these amounts of data telling you all this kind of stuff about a new market, which will make it easier for bigger companies actually to enter the market because they know a lot about these people, even without truly understanding the fiber of the culture.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's gonna tell you a lot.
Yeah, but still you have a barrier of language.
For now,
For now, but
in
the near future.
A good friend of mine, he's working for Goodyear Dunlop, and he's one of the high guys over there. And he made a mistake. In the Netherlands, car driver and fast car driver is coureur. So he made an ad for the Benelux about tires for the coureur.
Yeah.
A coureur in France is a bicycle driver.
Okay, yeah.
Not a car driver. So it's just the same word, but it's different. And that's you have to feel the nuance. That's the difficulty.
That's hard. I think that with the language learning capabilities from AI systems, obviously now it's like a 4-year-old child trying to learn something.
On the long term, they promised me already one time.
Yeah, but it's exponentially growing in terms of adoption. It's going to be mature faster than you think. And it's going to be able to pick out these nuances because we had the same thing. We were actually plugging in a client of ours an AI-driven merchandising solution. And then they said, we also have people living in Belgium and they call a dress a kleedje.
Okay.
And we call it a jurkje.
Yeah.
So actually a kleedje in Dutch means like a rug.
Oh yeah,
So
a skirt, a skirt.
Yeah. So that's actually the nuance within the languages. Like these are both.
Oh, we have that in English too.
These-
In the UK,
jumper.
in the UK they call it jumper.
Yeah.
That's a sweater for me, but they call it a jumper.
Sneakers and trainers.
Yeah, also.
Sneakers and
We
trainers.
call them tennis shoes in some parts of America.
Exactly. So
We don't
this,
play tennis with them.
but these are all. I mean, like this. These are all just minor details. I
Yeah.
don't see this as a big challenge to overcome.
No, we noticed that still a lot of people are annoyed when you try to do it in their language and it doesn't
Exactly.
really
Resonate.
resonate.
Oh, it's funny that they're annoyed with it though.
Yeah. No. You don't get points for trying here.
Kind of Netherlands now.
You need, either you do it and you do it good, or you don't do it at all.
Okay, okay, that's good to know with the Dutch
That's
market.
also the difference I believe in the US and the Netherlands is that in the US you get actually credit points for trying.
Yeah, we're like,
actually
oh.
making a huge effort and then failing, and
Yeah.
you're like put on a pedestal, and the Netherlands like told you so.
You're not going to heaven.
Yeah.
Yeah, one try and then it's over.
Exactly.
Okay, but so then customers must be like that as well. It's sort of like you get one shot. and if you
Exactly.
don't do- Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's the essence is what we spoke about. If you like trust is like really delicate thing, and if you mess with the trust and you don't live up to the expectations, they're gonna drop you and go somewhere else.
Yeah. Oh, wow. It sounds like a very difficult market.
Yeah.
Okay, but I should probably, I have no idea what time it is. I've just been chatting with you guys. Oh, we're almost time. So I will ask one last question for you both. Yes? So Brexit. No, I'm kidding. That's a much longer discussion probably.
American politics.
Yeah, no. No Trump. I ran away from that. I would really like to know, what would you say if right now you were speaking to somebody who was saying to you, I really want to start my web shop, I just need to know what are the top 3 things that I need to do. Like the 3 most important things, ABC, or do this first, second, third, what would you say? And also, how horrible is Brexit? No, I'm just kidding, go ahead.
I would definitely say like have a good vision on what the business case is. So how are you gonna make money? Am I built for it organizationally wise, able to go with the fast changing markets because it's competitive in here? Is my product, does it have a big differentiator? That's something you need to know. Is my technology stack flexible enough? So am I going to use marketplaces? Am I going to build my own platform? If I'm going to build my own platform, is it flexible enough and able to scale easily? And do I have enough information about my customers? Do I actually know who I'm selling to? If I combine these 3 together, then I can also say that I have a good understanding of these 3 fields and I'm able to combine the 3 of it, then you have a good story in order to enter the market. And definitely that will be my advice. Don't only focus on one part, like say have a good product, it must work. No, it's the 3, it's a combination of the 3 aspects.
And Osudio does all those 3 things?
And Osudio does all the 3 things.
Okay.
Osudio does all the 3 things.
That's cool.
So if you are a Belgian retailer and you said one day, okay, I stopped being a brick and mortar store, I want to be omnichannel as well. My first advice then, hire somebody who has experience in the online business. Due to the fact that the online business has different rules and different expectations than normal trade you do in a normal store. And then you have the capability. What I see is too many people just say, oh, we have a store, so therefore we have an online store. They will never be successful because they treat it in the same way like a store visitor. But online doesn't have store visitors. So you have to find them, you have to attract them, you have to approach them, you have to do a lot of stuff beforehand before they enter your store. That's the difference.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah?
Get started.
Get started, do it. Okay, I'm gonna finish up. Shameless plug. No, we really actually do the
Maybe
webinars.
you can tell them a little bit about the report.
Yeah, I was gonna. Now finally I will tell you. After all this, we actually do these webinars. Our marketing team is laughing at me. We actually do these webinars mostly to highlight a lot of the information that's in our reports that we do. I think we're doing 20 this year, which is a lot. We have an awesome team. We're all shocked about that, about how many we're doing. But we really would love for you to download it and check it out. I think we're going to do several other webinars this year. But the Dutch report is really great. We talk about payment methodologies, delivery methods, It's a lot of the basics, as Menno said, about what you kind of need to enter the market. So you should definitely download it, check it out. If you feel like it's missing a bit of information, it might be because the full version you can purchase actually on our website. I'm an expensive researcher, so. No, but to be fair, what's really cool about it is that our free version of the report is only possible because of sponsors like Osudio, where Menno works. But again, also for this report, we had SAP, Manhattan Associates, Ascendia, and Dotshop. So it's super cool. We've got a lot of sponsors who are interested in e-commerce. If you have any questions about what we talked about today, or for these two, if you heard anything that you found interesting, you can definitely drop me a line, and I will forward the question off onto them. And I think that's good, yeah?
Thanks for having us.
Thank you.
Yeah.